This is one of the best speakers we've ever had. It's relevant, it's real, it actually gives us some stuff on the ground to work with. You have the opportunity to have Stephen Hammond come and do a workshop, a presentation for your organization. It is a worthwhile investment.
What I loved about Stephen's training is that he's a dynamic speaker and he really brings the energy in the room. You could really feel it. So that was really enjoyable. So it's learning in a fun environment.
But regardless of where I go, I like the idea of having fun in the training. And one of the things that we usually do, and whether it's a crowd of 20 people or it's a crowd like this of up to 300 people or more, is I think there's always opportunity to have fun when you're getting to what could be a very serious subject. Usually what I do is we play something called the harassment game.
What I like most about the training is that it was a very fun environment to learn, and I always appreciate learning in a fun environment, and I found what I learned was very applicable to where I work.
Instead, what I'd really rather call this thing is the battle for chocolate. So
I liked how dynamic he was as a speaker. I liked his approach. I liked the scenarios that he got us all engaged and voting and thinking about the issues. I thought that was really good.
9 or 10 on your team, you're all going for the same 100, you're all going for the same 200, 300, 400, and 500 points. All right, so is that clear? Synopsis of the case. I'm going to give you a question you have to answer. I'm going to give you a yes and no argument, and then I'm going to give you 3 minutes to decide.
I love the fact that he introduced it in a game environment, and it was an interesting teaching tool. I like
a wide variety of thoughts on this. In fact, it was 16.9.
Interesting the way he speaks to the group. He keeps you focused. He's energetic, and so it doesn't give you a chance to kind of get sidetracked.
You know, look, probably at this time of the day, you don't expect this coming from me, but I got to tell you, all white men are crooks. And, you know, it's a sad reality. I mean, I know maybe it's easier coming from a white man, you know, so that I can actually say that. But the interesting thing is that I read the papers every day. You know, I subscribe to the Globe and Mail, so I read the Report on Business, you know, section. And if not every day, and I don't exaggerate, 2 or 3 times a week, I'll come up with other examples in which there are crooked guys who no longer, they're either in jail, they're no longer can be directors on companies, they can't share trades, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. 99.9% of them are white, and they're white guys. And the interesting thing is that even though we have these in front of us every single solitary day, how many times would you ever think, let's say someone coming new to work at your healthcare center or your hospital, you'd be looking at that person, or if someone, let's say in your home, you wanted your roof done, you look at that person and you go, look, don't take this personally, but your people don't have a very good track record, and I'm afraid I just can't trust it. You know, just, you know, you white guys just, you know, you're just crooks, really. I'm sorry to say that, but just try not to take it personally. I mean, how many times, even though it's thrown in our face every single day, would we ever set that up as a stereotype of our own? And yet, someone who's different from us, from skin color, from ethnicity, from language, if something bad happens with that person, you remember that. If it happens 2 times from someone of that same background, that's set for life. And it doesn't even have to happen to you. If in fact, let's say your brother-in-law, you know, got his kitchen done and it was a shoddy job from those people, we hold on to that. So the interesting thing is that stereotypes are very easy for us to get into, and they're usually about people who are different than us. If you also want to make some simple changes or some positive difference in your workplace, just try to recognize your own prejudice and stereotypes, which we all have. We're not bad people because of it, because we're all brought up with it. And one of the things that I've said, and I wrote this in the book, is that our own prejudices form the greatest barrier to creating an inclusive working environment. And if we can work on that, don't beat yourself up. I don't, even though things pop into my head every day. But just sort of think, okay, what can I do to make sure that this person in front of me, regardless of what I was brought up with, or regardless of what the last person who was similar to them was like, how can I make sure that I've given that person the opportunity that they deserve that I would want myself? And if we can do that, I believe that that goes a long way to doing some simple changes, some positive changes. But I'd really strongly encourage you to speak up. It takes so little. We think sometimes these things are big. They're not big when I am dealing with this person in front of me. It's about my interaction with that person and other people that I'm with.
It's incredibly funny, great sense of humor, and he had some really great stories to tell, really kept the audience's attention.
I know in line a lot of people were saying, God, I hope this isn't boring. I never saw one person dozing off this morning. It was absolutely fabulous.